Let's get started with that immediately. Look at this. 9,000 upvotes. Twitch is reportedly running anti-union Amazon ads targeting Alabama. Okay. So we watched this yesterday, but we'll rewatch it. We'll give it a quick rewatch. And, you know, I covered this extensively yesterday. But there's already been a here, let's just watch.
Have a great leadership. We really don't need anyone coming in and telling us what they want to give us, because basically we have everything we need here. Always want it to work for Amazon. This is the only place I've seen that have benefits from day one.
With the trap.
There's no waiting
with the trap. With the trap music.
You got chances to advance.
Vote no for the union.
I will vote no.
It's not needed.
Yeah.
Vote no, we can do it without the dues.
Yeah. Fuck labor unions.
At the Birmingham.
Okay, so yeah. People were saying that, like, people were saying that she seemed like she had a gun to her head, like an ISIS video. The irony is the gun to her head is not literally a gun to her head, but it's called the violence of structural poverty. The structural violence of poverty, sorry. And the fear that if she fucking, you know, loses her job, she's, you know, fucked. She's not going to be able to put a roof over her head. So that is part of the reason why she's terrified. Okay. But she might also be totally anti-union. A lot of people in America are, because of these sorts of ad campaigns and because of how much anti-union rhetoric has been successful, as the business owners have successfully destroyed labor power regardless. Anyway, maybe she's a manager. No. There's another one.
Rep in Los Angeles.
And these were the ads they were running on Twitch in Alabama, urging their workers in Bessemer not to vote for the union. They even also, on top of that, they went in, you know, New York Times and all these other places. This is pretty basic stuff. There's some not so basic stuff that Amazon also did where they went far and beyond. A lot of times you don't actually have to say, you literally play 1 second of the video after saying you'd play it. What? They, it's time to raise the federal minimum wage. Actually, it's past time. Well, Amazon can get away with writing this, taking an ad like this in the newspaper because Bernie Sanders' like relentless pressure campaign ended up actually forcing Amazon's hand into fucking raising their wages to $15 an hour. So because of that, they can now get away with acting like they are on board or have been on board with the minimum wage being $15 an hour from the jump when they clearly weren't. Okay, because the reality is business owners are never going to, out of the kindness of their own hearts, magnanimously decide to give you more of the profits that you generate for them. I'm sorry, that's the reality, which is why I always say, like, look, unions might not be perfect, but it's fair. Having one way to actually have more of a say at the table for all of the workers is an incredibly fair thing to do. It is the first stage, okay, of democratizing the workplace. It is the first stage. It's not even, it's the entry point, okay? It should be without question that this is how things are run. And yet here in America, this in and of itself is considered to be a radical take. So the anti-union conversations are always the same. It's literally such an easy concept. Don't want a union, treat your employees extremely well, and they don't want to unionize. No, employees that are treated well still might want to unionize ultimately. I mean, I guess the example of that is Starbucks, right? Starbucks is like one of the places where it's probably a little bit harder to unionize because of the amenities adjusted to the rest of the marketplace. Starbucks' jobs are very competitive. Costco as well are very competitive because they do a really good job of offering more amenities, more benefits, better wages than anyone else in the field. But you should still want to unionize regardless, because the whole point should be fairness. Okay? The whole point should be fairness. And what I mean by that is you should be able to have a way, a method for the workers to say, no, I certainly do not want this. We want extra benefits. You know what I mean? Like, because usually most companies are not going to give that to you, or who knows what they'll take away from you later down the line. And the only way to demonstrate that power is by working together as workers, given the current way that profit is distributed in most companies. Anyway, for sure should unionize no matter what. Was just saying, if you want at least a chance you're likely to unionize is to treat them really well. Yeah. Agree with the general take on unions being important in terms of having a seat at the bargaining table. How do you balance that with the con side of this, like the power of police unions have, and that getting in the way of change? So the problem there is police unions don't operate like regular unions. So regular unions are working against the interests of business owners. Police unions are not. And the reason why police unions are not is because police unions operate at the interest of capital. Because the police are a line of defense, a last line of defense, rather, from that prevents a working class uprising. And historically, this has been the case, and it certainly is still the case now. If you started seeing some labor militancy when unions started acting out and maybe disrupting the workflow and like preventing scabs from crossing the picket line and shit, cops would come in very quickly and beat the fuck out of them. Well, the reason why you don't see that too often is because we don't have that kind of activity anymore, because unions have been effectively dismantled and neutered, right? But they used to do that all the fucking time, and they still do, and they still would do that if it was necessary. So cops can have a powerful union because they do not go against the interests of capital owners. As a matter of fact, they're necessary. Right? Does this mean that the police unions are kind of de facto unionization for the capital owners? Somewhat. It seems like there's a difference between public sector unions, often bad, and private sector unions. No. Public sector unions they historically have a bad rap. And I'm not comparing what police does to what teachers do, okay? That's not happening. He's talking about people that are talking about union people protecting people who are incompetent at their jobs and face no accountability of being fired because of union power. Yeah, the difference is, like, if police were bad at their job, right, in the same way that a fucking fry cook is bad at their job, then they would be not catching criminals or some shit. When police are actually acting out in an aggressive capacity what the power that the government has granted them, they're being OP at their job. They're doing too good at their job when they fucking kill someone. Do you understand? That's the main difference between a teacher being bad at their job and a fucking cop being bad at their job. It depends on what you think a police force's job actually is. Because in theory, they're supposed to be public servants. Are you going to stop running ads now? No, but I will ban you because, that kind of idiotic take is specifically to, specifically start drama so you can go clip it in your fucking favorite subreddit to be like, Hasan talking about unions and talking out against Amazon and then running ads. Like, no, yeah. Of course I'm going to keep fucking running ads, idiot. Dumbass. As a union journeyman with IATSA Local 122 San Diego, thank you for taking a positive stance on the issue. Union dues are nothing compared to the wage increase and benefits you receive. No, absolutely. Union wages or union dues are for your benefit, okay? It's not like fucking union dues are, Jimmy Hoffa era, like padding the pockets of like mobsters or whatever the fuck people are saying. And there's still a little bit of corruption within the union system as well. I've talked plenty about my personal criticisms of like the way that unions operate in America. But having said that, union dues are for you. Why are they for you? Well, when you need to strike, that's how you fund a strike fund. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, when you need to demonstrate, the only way that you can show your power to your bosses is by work stoppages, okay? When you want to demonstrate your true worth to your bosses, because there is no value without labor, okay? Without you and other workers, it's just an empty factory, right? You can't throw additional capital on top of the problem and expect the capital that you already have to magically turn into a product or a commodity or a good or a service that other people want to buy, right? So the only way to show that to your bosses is by work stoppages, and that is a hard process. Like, when you're doing that, you're not getting paid. When you're doing that, you need to make sure that you have your health care protected. Make sure that if something bad happens, if you lose your fucking job, then or your union fights for you, basically to ensure that that does not happen. There's certain laws to prevent that as well, even though those laws have been rewritten a million times over. Okay? So your dues help you. It's called scalpers? No, they're called rats or scabs. Scalpers are people who buy, like, people who add on an additional, they're like a middleman that buys all this shit. 100%. My dad printed papers. The foreman would always look at him cross when he's relaxing. He always said, when the presses are running, you're getting paid. That means I'm not working. You want to pay me to play cards in the long run. Anyway, so Amazon ran a couple of these ads. They had these ads all over. Obviously, it's not just about, like, when a megacorp like Amazon runs these anti-union ads, by the way, it's not specifically about the ongoing struggle in Bessemer, right? It's not about just Alabama. It's actually way larger than that. They are trying to create hostility against unionization across the country and in general, okay? That's the whole point. And a lot of these people, forcing people into unions is bad. Forcing people to pay for these forced unions are bad. That's typical. The only criticism I hear about unions from normal people. I don't know why Amazon isn't going with that angle. Instead, they made an ad said that employment at Amazon is perfect. That isn't fooling anyone. Yeah, forcing people into unions are not bad. And also, forcing people to pay for those unions are not bad either, because it's better for them in the long run. It's like saying you're forcing me into citizenship in the United States of America because I was born here. Okay, there's certain things you can't fucking do, and there's certain things you can do when you become an American citizen. All right, complaining about it is fucking idiotic, especially because ultimately it literally works in your fucking favor. It's there to protect you. But American individualism is so deeply ingrained in the back of everyone's minds that, like, they cannot fucking comprehend it. It's like saying, it's like being born in the UK and saying, you're forcing me to getting the NHS. You're forcing me into the NHS. Why are you doing this? I do not consent to a nationalized healthcare system. I would rather pay, exorbitant fees and not get healthcare coverage like the fucking truly free American morons do over across the pond. Okay? That's what you're basically stating when you say, like, oh, well, you can't fucking force me into paying into a union. Anyway, speaking of ads and on Amazon, once again, it's top of the fucking hour, every hour. It's time for a 60-second ad break, boys. A contractual obligation that I need to abide by. Okay? So here's your first of the day. If you no longer want to see these ads, you can subscribe. You can do it for $5, or you can do it for free with a Twitch Prime that you probably already have, or your mother has, or your fucking wife has, or your wife's boyfriend has. You can take your wife's boyfriend's Twitch Prime and subscribe to me, especially if he hates me. That's one way to, fuck over your wife's boyfriend. But here's the irony. Here's a fucking top of the hour, every hour, 60-second ad break right now. Voters of both parties support wage increases, blah, blah, blah. Like they're positioning themselves as though they're for a $15 minimum wage because they already had to increase their wage to $15 minimum wage. Running a, corporate PR strategy of trying to make themselves look great. This way, a really decent way, a really solid way that Amazon makes it seem as though, and other companies do this as well, a really solid way that Amazon and other companies try to tell you to not unionize, and there is a multi-million-dollar industry that revolves around union busting, obviously, is by making it seem like the union is an outside source. Like the union is like Amazon itself is a fucking family. Thank you, Culture Visual, for the 10 tier 1 gift subs. That there's a family, and you're a part of a family when you work at Amazon. But the union is actually outside of that family. It's like, well, the union is literally you and your fucking workers. So no, the union is not outside of that family. The union is comprised of the members of that fucking family, if it is a family to begin with. How do you feel about the fact that you're working on a platform owned by a company that makes its lowest paid workers have to pee in water bottles to make their metrics not get fired? Actually disgusting. I feel about it in the exact same way that everyone fucking feels about it. There's not a single company on this fucking planet that actually does not in some way touch unethical, insanely unethical labor practices. So it's something that you and myself and every single person on the fucking planet straight up avoid thinking about all the time. It's kind of like this. You have the capacity to hear a lot of sounds, right? Throughout the day. Right now, I can hear cars in the background if I wanted to, but I shut it off when I'm focusing, okay? You shut off all the noise because you would go fucking crazy if you hyper-focused on every single noise that is around, right? It's similar to this, where so much horrible shit is occurring for the world to continue operating in the way that it does, and we, even those who are aware of it, will oftentimes tune it out so that you can operate regularly. It's like thinking about how the fucking world is constantly moving, right? You never think about it. You never comprehend it. You never should think about it because it would disrupt your daily process of survival. Anyway. Like how Pokimane ignores my donations. Feels bad, man. Bisexual pride, husband's boyfriend. I just accidentally pasted that into a Word document. Good job. Anyway. So. Twitch is owned by Amazon, but they immediately removed the anti-union ads. I covered the story yesterday, and then it went on fucking LSF. And Slasher reached out for a quote, and boom, immediately the PR person was like, nope, we're not doing it. We've removed them. Let's see what they had to say. The ads showed Amazon employees talking about blah. The ads were the latest entry in the long campaign aimed at disrupting organization efforts. We already talked about that. Where the fuck is the tweet from Slasher? Hold on. Twitch not even fucking around with themselves? Yeah. Wait, hold on 1 second. Okay, what is the best Turkish food you can get us in the US? I want to try it. Manta is always the best. Why are we getting a defense company to make our mail trucks? Okay, whenever I talk to my mom about unions, her answer is they're corrupt. And it's her personal experience with teachers' unions. I don't know how to convince her otherwise. You have to tell your mom that if corruption is a staple, if corruption is a constant, then you would rather have an institution or an entity or an organization be corrupt, but still accountable to the largest number of people. It is somewhat of a utilitarian argument for unions, okay? Because if corruption is a constant, because your boss is fucking corrupt, but you expect your bosses to be corrupt. You get what I'm saying? But you don't expect the union to be corrupt, so it sticks out more. So you're like, what the fuck? This union is fucking corrupt. Well, your boss, you literally expect your fucking company to fuck you over. You know what I mean? So if corruption is a constant, wouldn't you rather have someone on your side that still gets you 10% higher wages on average, according to at least the Labor Bureau statistics? And this is historically constant and also the same all around the world. I mean, think about every Nordic country that we salivate over, or all of these European social democracies that we salivate over. The backbone, the main reason why they are so, the main reason why their workers are in better conditions overall. Sorry, I'm like getting some other shit in the background. I can't fucking focus. Anyway, the reason why they have like a better workplace safety nets and all this shit is because they have unions. That's it. Anyway, Twitch, of course, said they removed these ads from the platform. Twitch does not allow political advertising, and these ads should never have been allowed to run on a service company, spokesperson tells me. Twitch has removed the ads due to the community bringing light to the situation. Twitch's full statement below. Good work, everyone. We have removed these ads and are evaluating our review process to ensure that similar content does not run in the future. We are grateful to our community for bringing this to our attention. And by the way, the irony there is this is no pixel. The fuck am I saying? This is LSF. Like, it's not even a fucking meme. This is literally LSF, like, playing a role here. So, good job. And I was looking through the comments, and it actually shocked me to see so many people, that were, like, I don't know, talking about unions in a positive way, and you know, actually describing the necessity for unions. Like, it was mind-boggling. I'm happy with all of these people, except for this guy, of course. You gotta love the irony, hypocrisy, pro-labor, anti-capitalist Hasan smashing his ad button religiously on the hour, serving this ad to his viewers. If there was any ad that could cause him to stop serving ads to trigger a work stoppage, you'd figure it would be this. He's contractually obligated to those money to run ads. Okay, he said he's Okay, so if Amazon workers were contractually obligated not to organize, you'd be fine with that? Okay, why did I do this and then click controversial? Okay, so... Oh, God. Why did I do that? I was just like, oh, LSF is actually saying a lot of great things. Like, you want to know the mind of a fucking dumbass Redditor? It's literally illegal to do this, okay? Like, there is a reason why this is fucking illegal, first of all. Not only is it immoral, but it's also fucking illegal. All right? If your workplace ever fucking tells you that, you can report them and they will get fined, for the record, or they will get sued. Now you have to address it, Sag? No, the only thing I was going to address here is that he likes to point out that only 11% of the American workforce is unionized, but how come he never suggests the other 89% is simply contractually obligated not to organize? Wait, what? Okay. This is I'm just going to fucking use with surgical precision, explain to you why you should never be this person, okay? What we are seeing is a demonstration of the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Someone who thinks that they are a lot smarter than they actually are. They're completely wrong. They clearly have watched enough of they've clearly watched enough of my fucking content. And so they have like somewhat of an understanding. And yet they still think that they are super smart, and they've written an entire paragraph to just look like a fucking dumbass. They're simply contractually obligated not to organize. Like, every part of this statement is literally fucking incorrect. Don't be this person. Don't be this person because you don't want to fucking write an entire paragraph when you're wrong, okay? And you just don't want to write an entire paragraph on Reddit to begin with, okay? You've already lost when you do that. Anne, bana bir kahve verir misin? Kaldı mı başka kahve? Cold brew yok değil mi? O zaman bir tane cold brew verir misin? Önemli değil. Anyway, either smash the app button once an hour or twist smash them for it automatically in the middle of his content. There's no third option. Yeah, exactly. This is so fucking dumb. Anyway. If this is true, Hasan stream will be interesting. Oh, Hasan is going to have a field day with this. Guys, I already talked about this. People are not even fucking aware of this, but like, I covered this yesterday. Holy shit. Anyway. Not sure if this is just my own experience, but I feel like discourse during COVID and with the GSE stuff has been a lot around income inequality and class struggles. To some degree, yeah. How come you haven't gotten your vaccine? Because I'm a healthy 29-year-old. And like literally I'm in the bottom of the vaccination list. I'm literally at the bottom of the vaccination list, like right behind like, you know, people that are younger than me. Oh, unless you were saying, unless you were trying to say I'm old, in which case you're fun. That was funny. My bad. I didn't even understand it. Anyway. It's pretty good. Other than like the idiotic takes, it's pretty good. Except for a socialism hater who says, who cares? How many channel points we putting on the thread being locked? Damn, Moscow's fives team making moves from esports apologies to this. Portugal news about healthcare workers union pay similar to what's going on. Socialism hater 69 is, he says, who cares? What you drinking, bro? Cold brew coffee. These Redditor types are just like anti-union software engineers who think a union will prevent them from becoming Elon Musk while putting in 100-hour work weeks. Yeah. What about the argument that unions cause jobs to be shipped overseas? Yeah, that's a fucking idiotic argument because jobs have been shipping overseas despite the fact that the rate of unionization has been on a steep decline. As a matter of fact, jobs shipped overseas since the rate of unionization started dropping. So the fuck does that mean then? Why is the rate of unionization dropping in this country and yet jobs are still shipping overseas? I wonder what that could be. I wonder why that is happening. Oh, maybe because the government Maybe because the government's not doing anything about it. It's free market. Anyway. For a couple of people confused about this, yes, Twitch is a subsidiary of Amazon.com Inc. is of course anti-union. What's union for someone who's not following U.S. news like me, please? The fuck does this guy not know what a union is and says like, I hope disgusting emotions like this will have the opposite effect. Good luck streamers if y'all ever try to unionize over against Twitch. What a bunch of fucking pieces of shit. It's pretty good. Unions protect the shittiest workers just the same as the hardest workers. Enjoy working twice as hard as Bob, but get nothing as a return, as most promotions or raises are seniority based. So enjoy Bob also being your new boss because he was hired 2 weeks before you. Again, meritocracy is a fucking lie. Okay, the reason most people here are pro-union is because they've been told to be pro-union as unions donate a disproportionately massive amount to Democrat political campaigns. Ah! Ah! Okay. I said this yesterday, and I'll repeat it again. ANCAPs, you know who's going to be your fucking dad's owner? Okay? ANCAPs, in an anarcho-capitalist society, in a society where fucking there is no restrictions whatsoever, you and your fucking Reddit shitlord friends that sit in a Discord all day to come up, like, conjure new paragraphs that you could write on fucking subreddit so you could get some fucking gold, okay? And your unhealthy tendies diet being completely facilitated and supported by your fucking mom and dad, your entire family is going to be enslaved. You're not going to be the factory owner, okay? There is no gold for you. There is no actual gold for you in an ANCAP society. There's no actual gold for you without workplace protections. You are Bob. You are the shitty worker, you fucking dumbass. And even if you are a shitty worker, if you are lazy, you should still be protected, okay? You should still have basic amenities, and your workplace should still offer you a larger percentage of the profits, because ultimately you are going to be generating more profits than you take from the company no matter what, okay? But ultimately, if you believe that you are going to be the hard worker or whatever because you're fucking writing all these long ass fucking paragraphs and shit, I have another reality for you. Look at me. I am a fucking moronic himbo, okay? If you say nepotism allowed me to get to the place that I got to, well, guess what? Then you're acknowledging that meritocracy is a fucking lie, okay? And people like me, and even people that you hate more than me somehow, are going to be your fucking daddy. And they're going to literally, physically own you with contracts, okay? As they already do. Someone significantly worse than me, that is an even bigger fucking asshole than myself, that doesn't want to give you fucking healthcare, is already your daddy's daddy, okay? So stop fucking freaking out about dumbass shit and theoretical positions that you read on some fucking subreddit that you are regurgitating without even thinking about it for a brief moment, and recognize the reality that you exist under. Stuff kind of woke today before this unlock. I mean, I am looking at like terrible. I am looking at like all the bad comments currently. I mean, I looked at controversial on purpose. I sorted by controversial to see the idiotic shit. But see, all the fucking dumbass shit's like heavily downvoted. Actually, that wasn't even dumb. Okay, we're done. So yeah, that was LSF that actually had a decent take for the entire union stuff, which was pretty fucking good. It's surprising to see. It made me very happy.